Welcome aboard the Eastern California Model Railroad. Please keep all hands, feet, and other critters off the layout. We wouldn't want any fingers to get run over. And the tracks are electrified with over 10 amps of sizzling electricity. Ouch! It seems like just yesterday, in the spring of 1872, that the Eastern California Railroad was founded. It was what they called a paper railroad back then, a holding company owned by the growing Carson and Colorado Railway. And lots of money was needed, because 3 men were about to follow their dreams and build a railroad. William Sharon, Hume Yarrington, and Darius Mills saw dollar signs and gold nuggets in the wild western hills of Nevada and California. They had just cashed in on the first major discovery of silver in America, and rumor had it, there was more where that came from. In May of 1880, the Carson and Colorado was founded in Carson City, Nevada, to connect the rivers of the same names. Charting a path through boom towns like Bodie, Aurora, and Candelaria, the line would snake its way through western Nevada, eastern California, and the Owens Valley. A year later, 70 miles of narrow-gauge rail was in place south of Carson City. The labor was cheap, just $1 a day for Chinese workers. The crossing of the mountains into California was no small accomplishment. At 7,100 feet, Mount Montgomery Pass was higher than the infamous Donner Pass. The rail line reached California in 1882 and proceeded down the Owens Valley. The valley was already rich with agriculture and cattle farming. The railroad brought people, supplies, and a touch of civilization to the wild, wild west. But profits were down in 1883, with the line only as far as the south end of the Owens Lake. As with most booms and busts of the era, all good things come to an end. These were tough times for the miners and folks who made their living working on the railroad. The dry Eastern California climate was harsh, and the winters were brutal. Storms would come in over the mountains, and sometimes the result was devastating. Despite the hardships, the railroad struggled on, hauling cattle, produce, and every ounce of ore that could be pulled or pried from the ground. By 1900, the railroad was ripe for a sale. I remember the excitement when it was announced the mighty Southern Pacific had bought the line. Soon there was talk of turning our little narrow gauge into a mighty standard gauge route from Salt Lake City, Utah, clear through to Los Angeles. The northern part of the line was converted first. Then construction began from the south in Mojave. You see, Los Angeles was growing too, and it had a thirst for water. And we had lots of it coming off the mighty Sierra Nevada mountains. In 1908, the Los Angeles Aqueduct was constructed, diverting water from the Owens Valley to Los Angeles. The agriculture in the valley literally dried up, and the only thing growing after that was dust. But times were changing, and a war was looming across the seas. The federal government was taking control of railroads across the nation, and to avoid more trouble, the former Carson and Colorado was turned over to the Eastern California Holding Company. Railroad tycoon James Hill entered the picture in 1928, when his railroad, the Great Northern, reached Klamath Falls in southern Oregon. More than 200 miles of lava beds, mountains, and virgin timberland stretched away from that point south. Hill planned to connect with the Eastern California in Reno, Nevada, which would open much of the southwestern United States to Hill's Great Northern Empire. The Golden Spike was driven in 1931, completing the rail link in Beaver, California. Los Angeles was now connected with the Pacific Northwest through an eastern route. The line has prospered over the years, hauling bigger and bigger loads of just about everything. Paper and wood products in southern Oregon move south, while containers from China move north from the ports of San Diego, Los Angeles, and San Francisco. The steam engines of yore have all been replaced with 4,000 horsepower modern diesel locomotives. The elegant Pullman passenger cars of yesteryear have given way to modern bi-level superliners and bullet trains. There are still some mining activities to this day in Mina and Candelaria, Nevada, but the boom towns of Aurora and Bodie are ghost towns or state historical parks. Times have changed indeed. Further south in Los Angeles lies the last of the great stations, known to common folks as Los Angeles Union Station. With its mission-style architecture, beautiful gardens, and sprawling campus, Union Station captures the essence of a bustling bygone era that peaked during World War II. Some 66 daily trains called at the station in those years. But with the automobile and jet planes, demand for passenger rail declined. When Amtrak took over in 1971, just 15 trains used the station. But by 1990, a passenger rail renaissance was beginning to pick up steam. With the creation of Metrolink, dozens of regional trains were added and Union Station started to come alive again. New high-speed service to San Francisco, Las Vegas, and other regional routes all helped make today's Union Station busier than it ever was, with over 200 trains using its platforms each day. In fact, it's gotten so busy, they've had to add more tracks. From the great steamers of yesteryear to the high-speed rail travel of tomorrow, trains continue to spark our imagination and revitalize the child in all of us. From the Eastern California Railroad, Merry Christmas! All aboard!